I was really upset that I wasted the Master Ball on Zapdos instead of using it on Mewtwo.
That I accidentally killed Articuno, and I was so upset. That was like, oh, Tyler, you blew it. You're not going to find another one of those.
I was sitting on my bunk bed, bottom bunk, of course, because Tommy takes the top because I made him because I'm older. And Mom brought me a hot pocket.
Why would you want the bottom?
Because I don't have to jump out and hurt my feet in the morning.
Classic. $8,900
All right. Megahertz.
8,900 Pentium 3.
Dude, you're getting Adele.
Dude, I got caught smoking weed, and now I don't have a job anymore.
Hi, and welcome to Probably Comics. I'm Thomas.
I'm Linc.
I'm Tyler.
And today we're going to talk about what was in our pull box with our weekly segment, What's in the Box?
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
How's everybody's day?
Lovely.
Tyler?
I read too much X-Men today.
Is there such a thing?
Yeah. Well, what did we find? What did we figure out the tally was that I've read this week?
What?
Like there were 4.
The tally?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I've read,
yeah.
Like how much X-Men you've
like
read this week?
24 in
24
trade.
issues in trade.
And then 11 in actual issues.
That's a lot of
So
X-Men.
30,
35
35 inside of 4 days.
35 issues of X-Men inside of 4 days.
Yeah.
That sounds like a dream.
Yeah. Well, it was a nightmare. It was, but the thing is, like,
After
the thing
a
is,
while.
the Whedon one. I mean, I should say I read the Astonishing. The Whedon run was good enough that I read it all the way through and I had no problem finishing it. It was so great. And then I got to Gillen's X-Men and. It was really good, but it kind of like the Fear Itself stuff. I was just like, you need 4 issues for this, like, and they did not, but they did it anyway.
So, for those of you that didn't listen last week,
Fuck you.
You go to hell, you die.
So for those of you that didn't listen last week, What's in the Box is where we talk about what was in our pull box this week, and then we have our favorite and our biggest disappointment. So we're basically, I think we're just going to do it round robin. Tyler, you want to start it off?
Yeah. Okay. So this week, I bought Uncanny X-Men 544, Generation Hope 12, Supergirl number 2, Wonder Woman number 2, Batman number 2, Justice League number 2, and Fear Itself number 7.
This week I bought Uncanny X-Men number 544, Justice League number 2, Fear Itself number 7, Avengers number 18, Batman number 2, Journey into Mystery number 629, posthumously Wonder Woman 1 and 2, Captain America Corpse 5 of 5, Fear Itself the Fearless 1 of 12, Fear Itself the Homefront 7 of 7, Herc number 9, and Fear Itself Youth and Revolt 6 of 6, and Invincible Iron Man Fear Itself 509. All right.
Somebody's not paying rent.
I'm a sucker.
You are a
All
sucker.
that Fear Itself shit. I never made it to the shop this week.
Yeah, that's our biggest disappointment.
Yeah,
this time.
that's the show's ultimate disappointment is that Thomas just couldn't find it in his time.
I've been at work a lot, but frankly, there were 2 books that I really wanted to get: X-Men 544, Uncanny X-Men 544, the final issue, and I wanted to get Deadpool Max 2 number 1, but I didn't go to the store. So
Tune in next week to see if whether or not Thomas went to the store.
yeah, tune in next week to find out if it's going to be another 3 weeks before Thomas buys his comics.
In our ongoing segment, did Thomas buy comics this week?
What?
Did Thomas find it in his budget to buy comics instead of food?
So, Thomas, I think it's safe to say that your pick of the week is going to be Uncanny X-Men, the final issue, since it's all you read this week.
Yeah, I really didn't have a choice. It was Uncanny X-Men 544 because I've read Links. And
the only comic that I read this week was Uncanny
Linc.
X-Men.
Oh, you bought so many comic books this week. Oh, but I didn't buy any. Can I borrow some? Of your
I think
comics?
at one point, I'm sure that you have way more than everybody else. But I think
Yeah,
at one
I
point,
pull a bunch of
I think at one point we need to bring all of our books over and just go through room and see if anybody wants to borrow anything out of them.
Yeah, we need to comics
I think
swap.
that'd be fun.
But so I will stand by. I think my biggest disappointment this week was not getting to buy Deadpool Max #1 because I love Deadpool. I kind of missed out on the whole first Deadpool Max thing. So it's Deadpool Max 2.
Mm-hmm.
Issue #1 just came out, and I've been really looking forward to it because I knew they were going to start doing it again, like do another series of it. And so I was kind of hoping to hop on board with that #1, and I've just... It's going to be Saturday before I can ever go.
Did you pull it? You didn't put it on your pull list?
No, but no one's going to buy it at Kingdom.
Probably true.
Linc, what about you? With your big-ass stack of books,
That's such a stack.
what was your favorite? And then out of all the bullshit that you read... What was your biggest disappointment?
So my favorite
which
this
cheese
week
stands alone?
Yeah, my favorite this week was Justice League #2. I really like where it's going.
Bumpity-bum.
I am very pleased. I think I've been to this point with DC. You could read Justice League and have a completely different set of characters than what you had in any of the main titles: Flash, Batman, Superman. In this case, they are doing a really great job of pulling in these other titles, the main titles, and referencing them and using the same characters.
It's more of a crossover
yeah.
comic than it ever has been before.
So the continuity is really tight.
It is really good continuity. I want to know where this Superman has been. This OG Superman is awesome. The other OG Superman in actual Superman is lame.
Well, that's the writer.
Yeah.
If Jeff Johns was writing every Marvel or every DC book, that'd be great.
But Superman's incredible in this. Everybody's really strong. I like that it's not an origin story, but they're putting one in with Cyborg. I like that Cyborg's in the Justice League. I've never thought he fit in the Titans.
When is he gonna just fucking become Cyborg already?
In the next issue or two, because he just got blown up.
Yeah.
So, but I liked Justice League #2 a lot, and I'm just really excited about what's coming from that. And you said it, okay, and I knew this was happening the whole time, but I bought in, and my biggest disappointment was Fear Itself #7. Yeah, haha. I'm, again. But again, I'm the guy that people listen to this thing to make fun of, so that's what I'm going for. Yes, so my biggest disappointment was Fear Itself #7. Just panels of... There was no action. There was no good fighting. At the end, this is what I wanted. I wanted for Iron Man to show up with the magic weapons, and I wanted there to be some big transformation. All it was them with stripes of white light.
Yeah.
But then Spider-Man and Wolverine had big differences.
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man's costume was all blue and black, and he had the hand blades.
And Wolverine
had this armor. He didn't, because his weapons
and his animanium was reinforced too, right?
With Uru, yeah.
Yeah, because he had blue claws.
Yeah, so they looked different. But then Doctor Strange in a trench coat with a cool wand, But there was no large change, and there was also. You've got 7 people that are bad with awesome weapons, and then you introduce 7 people that are good with awesome weapons.
Are they? Is that what the Fearless is?
No.
What is that?
Those are the mighty. The mighty are gonna fight the worthy. That was the idea.
I think I counted 3, and I didn't really count very hard, but I think I counted 3 panels in which a mighty and a worthy are actually fighting each other.
Oh yeah,
it's like, there's Wolverine versus Juggernaut, which is kind of cool, but there's just one panel. And there's no contact.
Which doesn't make any sense in the continuity either. Does it?
Yeah, I mean, Juggernaut isn't even half strong anymore.
Yeah, because in Uncanny X-Men, he's not the Juggernaut anymore.
He's just Kane Marco now.
Yeah,
with a giant hammer and a helmet.
I mean, it's a scary hammer.
But yeah,
and
so
it
was generally fairly weak. And I think they just got to 6 and were like, all right, let's finish this. Let's stop.
Yeah. That's how I feel about like a bunch of Schism kind of did that too, except for I think they had it mapped out better. Like Fear Itself is like lost.
Yeah, they didn't know where they
to
were
me.
going.
They if it had been like 3 issues, it would have been really good. But they had to put a bunch of bullshit in the middle, and they didn't know what to do, and then it just kind of crapped out at the end. Is it my turn?
Yeah, Tyler, let's hear about your favorite.
So. Let me blow your minds.
Okay.
and say that my pick of the week was by far, Supergirl number 2.
Mind blown.
Yeah. Like,
Whoa.
where's your mind? You better pick it up because I'm going to talk about it. Supergirl. You're familiar with Supergirl canon? It's Kal-El's cousin,
Yeah.
right? So the
Who comes
Supergirl.
Earth and falls in love.
Yeah. So Supergirl number 1 is her waking up and being on Earth and not knowing what the hell's going on in Russians and Americans are attacking her because she's an alien, and so she's beating up the Russians, but she doesn't understand why, because she doesn't understand that she has powers because she was on Krypton like yesterday, where she didn't have any powers. Supergirl 2 opens up on Krypton with a baby, and she says something. It never alludes that it's her child, but you kind of think that, and then at the end of that little scene, it's Kal-El. The thing is, the opening panel has the 3 days earlier, and so it was 3 days ago that she was on Krypton with baby Kal-El. Yeah,
And now suddenly,
and now she's on Earth with grown-up Kal-El. Right? So they're messing with time, and it's going to be really cool. Like, when in this canon did Krypton explode, and how long is an Earth day versus a Kryptonian day? Right? So, because,
Their
clearly...
sun's much bigger than ours.
Yeah, well, clearly Superman grew up inside of 3 days, because he's got to be, late 20s, early 30s at this point? Because it's OG Superman that's in this book. And she's the same age as she was on Krypton because she just got off. So, I mean, I'm really excited to see where that's going. And she doesn't believe that he's Kal-El, and she doesn't understand her powers. And I'm really excited to read this book. I really like it.
Can I ask something?
Mm-hmm.
Why is she wearing the costume?
Oh, that's a family thing. The L's all get to wear that.
Yeah, that's established in
The S?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in Superman 1, in Superman the movie.
Yeah.
What's the guy's name?
It's called their family crest, and they talk about it in Supergirl too. Like
Brando.
she has just gotten it because in 3 days ago in Supergirl 2 she doesn't have it, and so she's like, I'm about to go get my family crest, and so I guess she gets it, and then Krypton blows up. Yeah. But I don't know. So I'm really, really excited. I really like it a lot. I also really enjoy Justice League and Wonder Woman, but this one is taking a story that you've seen before and making it its own, and it's really impressive. Did I have a disappointment? Yep. And I think Link's already covered it. It's Fear Itself 7. I read the Fear Itselfs. I broke down and read them. I read them today. I broke down and read them because I wanted for the X-Men, the Juggernaut stuff in the X-Men to have context. And so I read the Fear Itself and did them in order. Read the first 4, and then read all the X-Men, and then read 5, 6, and 7 of the mainline Fear Itself. I haven't read anything else. Oh my god!
You didn't miss.
It was Fear Itself 7 was the biggest cop out ever.
Yeah, that's
and then Tony Stark is always the character who, despite his total lack of humility, is still a really likable character. And then in this one, I don't even know if this was 7. That all runs together for me now. But at some point, I think it was 6. At some point, Tony Stark decides that he's going to give up a sacrifice to Odin, so he'll help him out. So he gives up his...
He sacrifices his pride and his sobriety.
So he takes a drink of wine. And Odin's like, okay, that's good enough.
He
I'm
gets wasted.
Yeah, he gets hammered. But the whole time Tony Stark's yelling at Odin, basically, I don't believe in you because I'm a man of science, but I still need your help real bad.
I hang out with your son on the weekends.
And I'm like, if you're in Asgard, it clearly is a thing. Yeah. That doesn't make any sense.
And at the beginning of Fear Itself, the first Fear Itself, is Tony not trying to rebuild Asgard?
Yeah, in Oklahoma, Braxton.
Yeah,
right?
because of the siege.
Yeah, and
so how do you volunteer to rebuild?
Remember that time
that
they went into Asgard to save it because Thor's their buddy and they hang out all the time.
Yeah, but he didn't believe in him.
But no, he can't believe in his dad anyway.
No, I don't believe in Odin. He doesn't believe in Odin. No, that's ridiculous.
Great Odin's raven.
It was so stupid. I hated it. It wasn't even a disappointment because I knew I was going to hate it. So it sucked. That's the distinction. I didn't love Batman number 2, but it was better than Fear Itself was.
Man.
Thanks for everybody for tuning in to Probably Comics this week for What's in a Box?
What's in a box?
Join us next week when we'll talk again about what we pulled. And if you want to get in contact with me, I'm DT Mills on Twitter.
And if you want to catch me on Twitter, I'm LincZ2.
And you can follow me at Uncanny Tom. That's THOM.
And if you want to follow the show on Twitter, we're at Probably Comics, or you can check us out at probablycomics.com.
This show is unofficially brought to you by Kingdom Comics in Vestavia Hills, Alabama.
Thanks, Dan.
Word.